Hi, I'm Meg Atterbury, and welcome to your 2-minute tour of Rocky Mountain National Park, where you get local insights on how to beat the crowds at one of the busiest national parks in the country. First up, to beat the crowds, plan a hike or activity where you will be at your destination for sunrise. Sunrise at Alpine Lakes are a mega classic Colorado activity, and you'll have the added bonus of staying one step ahead of the crowds throughout the day. RMNP is world famous for hiking, mountain climbing, wildlife viewing, and the iconic Trail Ridge Road. Keep in mind that most of the park is highly inaccessible in the winter with plenty of avalanche danger, so plan a visit between June and October if you're not familiar with how to deal with that terrain. From May to October, you are required to have a timed entry permit to enter the park. There are two types of permits. The Bear Lake Road and the rest of the park requires a permit from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. Excluding Bear Lake Road requires a timed entry permit from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. You do not need a timed entry permit if you're accessing the park outside of those required reservation times. Your permit does not guarantee parking. In fact, if you're planning to access Longs Peak or the Bear Lake Road, you'll want to arrive no later than 2 a.m. for Longs Peak and no later than 4:30 a.m. for Bear Lake. Yes, parking does and will fill up that early, especially on weekends. Must-do hikes include Emerald Lake, Dream Lake, Chasm Lake, Gem Lake, sensing a trend here, Sky Pond, The Lock, and Alberta Falls. All of these hikes are insanely crowded, so be sure to start by headlamp well before the sun rises if you want to have a chance at solitude. For more secluded trails, check out Black Lake, Fern Lake, Andrews Tarn, and Ozul Lake. Dangerous afternoon thunderstorms plague the mountains every day in the summer. Keep an eye on the weather and bring rain gear. Plan to be below tree line, that's where the trees grow, between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. if you're hiking. Many people come to climb Longs Peak in Rocky Mountain National Park. This is a world-famous 14,000-foot mountain. If you're not fluent in mountain climbing and scrambling, do not attempt this route without a guide. People come ill-prepared here every year and die. The people, quite honestly, make this route pretty dangerous. If you have your heart set on Longs Peak, I recommend hiring a guide and tackling the lesser-known Cables route. It's prettier and a little bit faster. As a climber, I believe it's a very accessible guided adventure for those who don't have experience on rock. Trail Ridge Road is a stunning stretch of road that goes from each end of the park. There is a ton of hiking and overlooks to discover here, so plan a half day at least to drive this road. Keep in mind it does close in the winter and it is seasonally open, so check conditions before you go. Wildlife spotting is another popular activity. You're almost guaranteed to see elk in this park, and they do cause traffic jams, but for your best chance to see other wildlife such as deer, bighorn sheep, moose, foxes, goats, and more, plan to visit right around sunrise when the wildlife is the most active. Other activities include multi-pitch rock climbing, my personal favorite, bouldering, camping, and backpacking in the park. Permits are required for any backpacking, and overnight camping sells out almost immediately at all campgrounds via advanced reservation systems at recreation.gov. If you enjoyed this video, take the subscribe button on an adventure with you, and be sure to check out the show notes for in-depth resources and guides on the topics I covered in today's 2-minute tour. Or visit foxintheforest.net, a local, honest guide to the best outdoor activities in Colorado. Happy adventuring!